So let's see. Then you need to know someone who cares on in love. Let's see. Man on the street and the couple on the stairs. What do I have here? What's going on, Lady Elegance Pritchard?
It's about that time, baby. Oh, yeah. Here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
And it's on.
Running to your friends.
Come on.
It's a moment of the show tonight. Mailbag is tight. Sinclair is on tonight.
Once again, it's on. You're still troubled in your home. Got you tripping. Don't know right from wrong. Send your letters to the show so we can talk you through. Get the answers to your questions because we see that truth. Sometimes you doubt yourself, lost your health. Faith is on the fence, but you believe that Jesus knows your well. Keep it moving, spirit flowing, because we're here to provide someone to lean on when you're falling. Wednesday, 8 and 9, and it's on.
Once again, it's on. You're listening to the only morning show when people at night. That's right. It is the Sinclair Show coming to you live and direct because it's all about you. That's right. It's the holiday time of the year and it's all about you. Not me. You all. Okay? Why is that? It's because y'all the people's choice. That's right. See, I could be anywhere doing anything, and so could you. But because y'all be coming on the air with me every Wednesday, sitting back, talking with Uncle Sinclair about all that's on your mind, that's why the show is about you all and not me. But never fear. We got some good things to talk about tonight. But I want to thank all of you all who continue to send your mailbag questions and comments and things you want to talk about to sinclairtalk@outlook.com. We're going to continue to address as many as possible each night that I'm on the air to reach who? You all, the valued listener. And as y'all can already probably tell, tonight I'm probably going to be on one. Because it's almost the end of the year. Matter of fact, I might take the rest of the year off just because of the holidays. I don't know. Nikki Carter, what's going on? Glad to see you, my little arch nemesis, always somewhere around. Probably looking for, you know what? I ain't even gonna say that about you, Nikki, because for the last few weeks that you've been on, I think you skipped one. You have been on good behavior. So I can't even call you the arch nemesis right now. But you might earn your title tonight, just based on what we're gonna talk about. But again, I thank all of you all who certainly continue to join and chime in, because there's a whole bunch of stuff y'all could be doing, but y'all rolling with me. Hold on, let me see what all these people talking about. First of all, first person on the show tonight was Gwendolyn Lady Elegance Pritchard, coming to us from Huntsville. We be racist, Alabama. I ain't even gonna get Alabama a bad name, but y'all do know bad things do happen to people of color in Alabama and Mississippi. I don't know why, but the one good thing that we can say come out of there is Lady Elegance Pritchard. That right there. Then, of course, we got Nikki Carter popping in. Detective Pamela Black, glad to see you. Nikki Carter said, I ain't got no PTO time to take off. Girl, please, whatever. What if it isn't Leetta Cole? Glad to see you tonight, Leetta. Let me see. There go my mama. Hey, mama. Big Rod, what's going on, Big Rod? Selena Harold, what's going on? Glad to see you. Man, people just popping in from everywhere. I know what it is. It's around that holiday time. You know what? Y'all, this like that period of time before y'all got to start dealing with the ignorant family members that come down and keep all the fuss and the ruckus in your lives for the Christmas break. But it's okay. Keep your eyes open. Hope alive. Anyway, so let me see what we're gonna talk about tonight. Oh, we do got some good topics. I'm not gonna let y'all do like y'all did me last time. Last time y'all got me sidetracked and I was unable to get to the meat of the situation, but not tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk about all the stuff that I want to talk about. How about that? First of all, let's begin with the fact, y'all, matter of fact, let me turn my fan on in here. Y'all bought me one of these little lights that supposed to have a fan to it. Let me turn it down. Yeah, give me a little oxygen up in the studio. Turn it on low so y'all won't be complaining. Man, tell me what's up with the with Donald Trump, man. He is really tripping. Dude, look, they popping up. I thought we in the black community had a problem with snitching. Donald Trump be self-snitching. They coming out with more audio and text message. And I saw something on the news. And yeah, we not gonna get sidetracked, but let me tell y'all. I saw something on the news that was super funny. And what it was, they said that Donald Trump had a burner phone, if you will, when he was in the White House. James, keep what's going on. Glad to see you up here tonight. Yeah, so I'm looking at the news and they talking about how initially when they ran through and they was trying to see what happened on January 6th and a few days before and after, and they said the White House call logs didn't have much on them, so they was assuming that Donald Trump really wasn't making a whole bunch of calls. But y'all know them feds don't play, so it appears the feds went in and picked up from checking somebody else's phone. They got this number. Come to find out, the president of the United States at that time, Donald Trump, had a burner phone. He out there just making all kind of calls, texting folks, talking about, go get him. We about to set it off. Why the president got a burner phone? What can you trust if the president got a burner phone? The president running around. That's why down in Georgia, he facing the same RICO charges like Young Thug and them, because he messing around with them burner phones. That's the problem right there. Let me say this to all of y'all out there with more than one phone. I just really want to know, what you need more than one phone for? That's a good question. You might be trying to hide something if you got 3, 4 phones. I'm just saying. Some of y'all gonna say, oh, I got one for work and I got one that's my personal phone. Let's be clear. Most of y'all not doing that much work at work. I'm just keeping it a stat. But it appears that the president had a burner phone and he was hitting up all his crew. And what happened was his crew started flipping on him when they was looking at them years, right? Because I don't know if y'all paid any attention to it, but a lot of them January 6 cats, they messed around and got anywhere from 7 to 18 years. That's a lot of time. So they realized I ain't going up in smoke. So every time that the prosecutor was offering a deal of immunity, if you don't understand what immunity means in those particular cases, not all, but it generally means that if the prosecutor offers you immunity, you got to tell them everything you know. And if you leave out something, even after you done snitched on all the other stuff, they can come back and get you. So what they started doing was they got, I think they hemmed up Giuliani. I think he was one of them, and whatever that chief of staff name was. That's why if you're gonna get you a chief of staff, get you somebody that's your ride or die, somebody that's gonna go to the end, somebody that's gonna throw the phone in the water. Not them dudes. They done went out there and got hemmed up. And so they, the dude, they was like, well, who is the person texting you this right here? Allegedly, they was like, man, I don't know. It was a lot going on that day. It was like, you remember them 18 years? It's like, oh, that was Donald. Donald who? Donald Trump. Well, where did this number come from? Oh, that was the burner number. That was the Bat Cave number. So now, Nikki Carter said they deserve every bit of time. Cassandra said, hey, y'all, what's going on, Cassandra? Glad to see you. Yeah, so at the end of the day, now we dealing with burner phones. We got all kinds. Donald Trump acting more and more like he from the hood. The only difference in what Donald Trump was doing, And what Young Thug was doing, Young Thug was alleged to be slanging a little dope. Donald Trump, he could have been selling dope too, allegedly. He had burner phones, secret codes, had his people talking about, look, don't call me back on this number. What in the Sam Blazing Hills is going on? And y'all think they ain't gonna get him. Anymore, what's going on? Glad to see you. But yeah, so they got y'all ex-president hemmed up with the burner phones. So it's just a matter of time. And all they needed to do was get the number. Once they got the number, they went back to the carrier. Let me get y'all to understand something. There is no cell phone you use, and not even a sat phone, that eventually, if they find out on one end of it, they ain't gonna track back to you. And oh my goodness, look at them go. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there in my latest and greatest news for all of y'all who are NBA fans. Let me tell y'all was talking about the in-season tournament. Y'all was looking a little shady on my Lakers, but let me tell you who won the in-season tournament. Got that $500,000 apiece for everybody on the team and got the little trophies and the banister. None other than those Los Angeles Lakers. Anthony Davis had a monster night. There is 41 points, about 20 rebounds for all y'all haters. Anyway, look, tonight we're going to talk about some things. And we're going to start off. And listen, this is my disclaimer for tonight's show. My disclaimer for tonight's show is, James said AD got robbed. Yeah, because they did it for the series, so that's why they ain't give it to him. But all right, so this is my disclaimer for tonight. Tonight we are going to be talking about a topic with some level of sensitivity to it. Now, I'm going to say some views that are going to be probably unpopular to some and extremely popular to others. I welcome you all to chime in to give me your thoughts and your perspectives, but I also welcome you all to keep a broad mind, because at the end of this discussion, we should, hold on. Selena Harrell said, forget the Lakers. You wasn't saying that when your son was playing for him. That's a hater right there, people. Happy birthday, lady. Whose birthday is it? Who you saying happy birthday to, James? Anyway, maybe I missed something. James, let us know whose birthday it is today. So let me say this to you. The topic is definitely going to have some areas of sensitivity. One person will not have every view. Any more today, your birthday? Well, James, how you know it was Annie Moore's birthday yesterday? What, you stalking her? I'm going to keep an eye on y'all out here in listening land. But anyway, happy belated birthday to Annie Moore, to Taya. It was a whole bunch of people had him this week. Anyway, so I've given you all this disclaimer so that you all process this without the aggression that I know it might come forth in some. Now that I done said that, let's begin. All right. Now, Sean Diddy Combs, if y'all have been under a rock, you might not know that old P. Diddy do it, Diddy not, has been making the news. And he's been making the news for about a month now because initially there was a lawsuit filed about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3, for which someone that he had some involvement with, an entertainer named Cassie, filed a lawsuit suing him, alleging assault. Well, let me say this. I guess it's assault. I can say assault. I don't know. Some people be blocked out, blaming out, whatever. If YouTube don't like it, they'll bleep me out. That he had committed some SA crimes, and And in this lawsuit, she alleged many negative things, if you will. Now, obviously, a person is presumed innocent until proven guilty. And simply because somebody, just because a person settles something does not mean that they are guilty of what they are accused of. I want to say that up front. Sean Combs was accused of some very vile behavior, and within 24 hours, he settled the case. Once again, let me say, as a matter of principle, being accused does not mean you guilty. Settling a case does not mean that you are guilty, but you could be. And I just need y'all to take that into consideration as we go on. Now, the reason why this is so relevant and prevalent is because there began to be some alleged validation. His ex-head of security, a man named Roger Bonds, claimed that he jumped in to help that lady Cassie when he worked for the rapper. He said there comes a time when you're in a situation that may seem like a good situation. Bonds said in a video message that he shared in Instagram on a previous Wednesday. But if you're not waking up happy, or if you are disgruntled, or you really don't want to be around that person, you find every excuse to get out of there. This is his words. He said, but in reality, I was sick. I was sick of you, he added. I was sick of everything that was going on around you. I was sick of having to cover up everything that you did. I was sick. Now, this is what his ex-head of security. He alleges that there were times when he witnessed himself and, in fact, jumped in when Sean Combs, a.k.a. Brother Love, a.k.a. P. Diddy, whoever he was or is, was beating up women or alleged to be attacking women. All right? Now, again, so that I don't get sued, these are merely allegations at this time. Another thing says Sean Combs temporarily steps down as Revolt chairman following sexual assault lawsuits after being accused of sexual assault in 3 different lawsuits filed this month. Sean Diddy Combs is temporarily stepping down as chairman of Revolt, TMZ reports, and a representative for the musicians confirmed to Pitchfork. Diddy, the co-founded Revolt in 2013. On social media, the media company themselves shared the following statement. Now, I want y'all to listen to this. This was the media company, so this part isn't alleged. It said Sean Combs has stepped down from his position of chairman of Revolt, while Mr. Combs has previously had no operational or day-to-day role in the business. This decision helps to ensure that Revolt remains steadfastly focused on our mission to create meaningful content for the culture, amplify the voices of all Black people throughout this country. Now, think about this, people. We can't say he did it. He did settle within 24 hours. That is an extraordinarily fast settlement. And I have to believe the allegations is that she originally filed and asked for $30 million, but the settlement was somewhere between 90 and 110 million. Now, first of all, let me say this. If he settled that fast, he is either the dumbest billionaire I know, and or he really did it and she really wanted to stick it to him, because if he offered her allegedly 90 million to 110 million and she was only trying to get 30 and he did it that fast, then I'm just saying he either offered her a similar amount. James said, don't get kicked off. He either offered Cassie a similar amount and she turned it down because she wanted it to become public knowledge, or he's the dumbest defendant ever. If you was going to pay that kind of money anyway, why even let it get public? I'm just saying. Think about it in the context, people. Normally, before it gets to the courthouse, there is a back and forth process. The back and forth process is somebody's asking for this, somebody's saying, I ain't giving you that. They go back and forth, the lawyers, all the insurance companies, whomever. But normally, if you get to an impasse, then you'll say, let's take it to court. Nikki Carter said he didn't believe she'd do it. Nikki, you know what? Tonight I got to be inclined to believe you. And I want you guys to process this. Again, it doesn't mean he's guilty, but if you offered a person a settlement and they turned it down, and you offered them some more money and they turned it down, and you decide that there is a limit, I'm just not going to go, knowing that this person would do it, if you allow them to take that to court, you're the dumbest person in the world if you turn around and settle 24 hours after they file. Because now it's public record. I'm just saying. Don't get mad at me because of what he did. And I do not want you all to attach what Sean Combs did to every person who was accused. Because there are a lot of people who are falsely accused of something. It is not true. And an insurance company will make a recommendation to a company, hey, look, you need to go ahead and settle, regardless, because it doesn't matter if you can prove it or not. If you can get rid of somebody for 20% of what you might lose, an insurance company will say, go ahead and settle. Now, let's think about this. So, Cassie, the woman who alleged these things, and Sean Combs settled 24 hours after it got to the courthouse, was the first. There have been at least 4 additional ones, 5 and all. The latest to do it is alleged that she is alleging when she was 17, she was drugged and assaulted, raped by Combs, his longtime lieutenant, Harvey Pierre, and another, as yet an unnamed black man back in 2003. The filing includes a photo of the accuser referred to as Miss Doe sitting on the lap of Combs, then 34, and alleged the assault left her suffering significant emotional distress and feels of shame that have plagued her life and personal relationships for 20 years. Doe claims in the lawsuit that she was in high school and out with friends at a club in Detroit, Michigan in 2003. This is already going left, and I know what we're going to hear. When she first met Pierre, that is the dude, Harvey Pierre, who worked for the former president of Combs' Bad Boy Entertainment, who told her she was hot and insisted that his best friend and brother Combs would love to meet her. He then called Combs. The lady alleges, she claims, and put her on the phone with the star, who told her she should fly to New York City with Pierre. Now, let me say this, people. Remember, I told you all, Big Rod said it only takes one to get paid, the rest will follow. Absolutely, I agree. But I gotta say this. Before I go down this rabbit hole, I want to say this as a point of reference. Two things can be true. A person can make dumb decisions and still be a victim. Let me begin by saying that. And I say that because the first thing that's going to happen as soon as I give you all my next context of thought is that there are going to be some people who feel some kind of way. I even spoke to somebody earlier this evening, a gentleman who I value his opinion. He is very well rounded. Shocked me because he was even more firm on his belief than I was. Even had me defending situations. So because of how well-rounded he is and the position he took, I am left to make sure that I am clear before I make my statement that nothing is cookie cutter and it does not apply to all. All right? Whew. So let's go, people. First and foremost, everybody that says that they're a victim is not a victim. Now, this young lady who alleges when she was 17 years old that she was out at the club. Now, she wants to reference and preference the fact that she was in high school at the time. Let me begin by asking a grown man question. If you want to refer to yourself as being in high school and you want to incite more anger in the public by saying that Sean Combs and his ignorant friends did some type of assault on you, then tell me, why weren't you thinking of yourself as a high school kid back then when you was hanging out in an adult person's club? Now, simply sneaking into an adult club does not mean that a person deserves to be sexually assaulted, period. I'm saying that as a matter of preference. But if you 17 years old pretending like you a grown woman in a grown woman's environment, one could reasonably assess that there is a likelihood that something could go wrong if you somewhere you should not be. So let's take it a little further. I'm already at the edge of the rabbit hole, so I may as well go on all the way down in there. The 17-year-old alleges that this dude, Harvey Pierre, tells her, hey, I'm the president of Combs Enterprises, Entertainment, whatever the name of it was. And I think Puffy would love to meet you. I think you fine. He allegedly gets on the phone call Puffy. The girl hears somebody alleged to be Puffy say, hey, you need to go and get on that plane and fly out to NYC. Come holler at me. To which she allegedly did. Now, let me pause right here. I'm saying allegedly for legal purposes only because the young lady took pictures of her in Puffy's studio. So even though I'm saying alleged, the images at least prove that at that particular time in her life, she was at least in the studio sitting in the lap of Sean Combs. Listen to what I'm saying. None of that means she deserved to be assaulted if the allegations are true. But let me go back and say this. Don't come talking about you were in high school and it happened when you were just a child if your fast behind was grown enough to let some dude tell you that you hot and put you on the phone with somebody that was or was not Sean Combs, and he tells you you ought to fly from Detroit to New York City to come see him with the dude you haven't known except for a few seconds in the club, and you do that, stop acting like a victim. You weren't a victim because I've got a real question. First of all, where was your parents at when your 17-year-old self was making decisions to be at the club half the night and jump on airplanes going from one state to the next to see somebody? Where was your parents at? You thought you were grown at that time, so you was doing grown woman things. You was acting like a grown woman. Again, my disclaimer is simply doing something stupid does not mean that you deserve to be allegedly sexually assaulted, but it also doesn't give you a pass, and you should not be able to then come forth 20 years later and say, this is what happened to me and I felt so bad, because there should be a level of responsibility for when you put yourself in situations where it is more likely than not that some harm could come to you or someone else. I can already feel the negative energy coming from some of y'all. But I want you to walk with me on this, because we are in the middle of a process of having to say, let me see you. Lady Elegance said, Sinclair, I totally agree with what you're saying. It's all about the money. That may, and Lady Elegance, I believe it is so, but I also believe that because I am a counselor, it could equally be that the incident was so horrific, as she now describes, that she could have suppressed it until somebody else was bold enough to actually take it to court, and she felt like, if now I come out, it's nothing that he can do to me. Nikki Carter giving me the aggressive look. Jake Dixon, what's going on? But I'm saying to you all, both parents, young women, young men, because it is alleged that Sean Combs may have taken advantage of some men. They have talked about his proclivity for different things. I don't know it to be true. But I'm saying this part, I refuse to accept that we give an emotional pass to someone who becomes a victim, but they created an environment or a space. That's what's up, big dog. Big Rod said, I always ask, why does it take so long for all this to come out? Someone knows about it as soon as it happens. I believe that to be the case, Big Rod. But again, I always want to err on the side of caution, because as you all have heard me say on this show a many a time, and I believe it in my own personal life, that one who victimizes you doesn't have a right to tell you when you should get over it. If you wrong me, you can't tell me how fast I should let it ride. I might not get over it for a long time. I'm a work in progress. So if you do anything that's underhanded to me intentionally, I am not talking about somebody do something to me and it was by happenstance or accident that it occurred. I'm talking about if I got reason to believe that whatever occurred with me, you did it intentionally, you don't get to tell me how fast I should let it go. So, as it relates to the allegations against Sean Combs and some of his alleged cohorts, if what the 17-year-old says or alleges that she flew there, somehow she wound up being in an intimate moment with Sean Combs, allegedly, and it turned aggressive. Once it was over, she found herself being forcefully taken advantage of by the dude Javier and a unnamed third alleged co-conspirator. Again, and the reason why I am handling this delicate matter with such specificity is because I don't want to give the impression that there are no victims out there. I don't even want to give the impression that a person can't start off in a situation and then turn into a victim. By that, I mean this. The young lady, hold on, let me give Nikki Carter some airtime. Nikki Carter says, not everyone processes trauma quickly. Exactly. Now, I don't know if it takes 20 years. So I don't want to. Nikki says, sometimes the victim feels so much shame and guilt, it's hard to come out. I believe that to be possible as well. And I want to put this in context too. It is possible that the young lady, fast and a $2 bill, as old folk would say, saw an opportunity to go down there and hang out with Sean Combs, and maybe, just maybe, she even thought that she might get involved with him on some level. And maybe she was okay with that part of it. That doesn't mean that when the other gentleman forcefully took advantage of her allegedly after she and Sean Combs got out of that situation, that's why I said there can be two things true. A person can absolutely positively set the wheels in motion to something that goes bad. And when it goes bad, it can be something that they did not expect and or was not reasonable to assume. She could have even assumed, I'm going to fly out here because Puffy done invited me. He going to make sure I'm good when I get there. I might even deal with him on one hand because she could have been fast, probably was, can't say for sure, allegedly. But she says in her own affidavit to the court, she was at the club at 17 where adults was hanging out at. Combs did tell her, hey, you should fly out here with Javier, and she did willfully fly out there. That piece, it does not appear to be any discrepancy, which is why I say to you all that have daughters and sons out here that you don't think there's nothing wrong with them doing whatever it is they want to do. You don't mind your daughters out here looking like they 10 years older than what they do. They got makeup all on them. They doing it big. You don't want anything to happen to them, but you allow them at an inappropriate age to be in an adult environment. I know what y'all gonna say. Y'all gonna say maybe her parents didn't know nothing about it. Maybe she told her parents she was going over to a girlfriend's house. Maybe not. I ain't rocking with it. So you mean to tell me, as a matter of fact, check your parenthood. If your child can tell you I'm going over to my friend's house and she can go out to a whole nother state, flying around, taking pictures, sprawling out, doing whatever she doing, and you don't know nothing about it, you need to check your parenthood. You need your parental card revoked. I'm just saying. Don't hate the messenger. Let's talk facts. Look at my armor bearer. Hey, it's a shepherd, glad to see you. And so the young lady, by her own admissions, goes, jumps on the plane, gets to DC, hanging out with Puffy. Something went awry. She alleges Puffy took advantage of her. Then she alleges two of his co-conspirators, one person not named, the other alleged to be Javier Pierre, take advantage of her. Assault her. She claims left her on a bathroom floor, that once she was able to get her alleged broken and battered body up, that they took her back to the airport, gave her the money, a plane ticket or whatever to get on that plane, and she flew back to Detroit. Now, let's be clear. This story can be true. Don't assume for one moment that the young lady is automatically lying about what she's saying happened. There's a dozen different scenarios where all, part, none, or some of it could have been true. She could have met Javier at the club, flew out, and she said, had a good time with them, got back on the plane, flew back, and realized years later that people is making money. She got some photos, she makes a story, and this is much to do about nothing, but she can come up on a few dollars since Cassie got her money. It could be that way. It could equally be she's telling the absolute truth. And the sad part about it, and the reason why you must give her the benefit of the doubt, is because not of Cassie, not because he settled that case, but because there have been multiple bodyguards who have alleged that they had to intercede in different scenarios. Now, the bodyguards aren't suing him. So what would be their motive for confirming certain incidents? That's that piece right there. I'm just saying. He settles out of court within 24 hours. You cannot infer anything from that, but you do have to assess. Here's another piece of information. Let me drop this little knowledge on y'all. Don't get mad at the messenger. It says at least, and I'm putting this in context not to include one with the other, but I want you to get this. This is to the rest of America. If we believe the allegations against Robert Kelly, R. Kelly, and if you all were so captivated by the surviving R. Kelly documentary, and if you jumped on the bandwagon and y'all got it so I can't even listen to an R. Kelly song on the radio, you got to dig deep into YouTube to even find it. Y'all got that man banned from everything. The one thing R. Kelly, to my knowledge, well, if it isn't Mother Yvonne Rouse, she said, hello, Dr. Singleton. Yeah, it's been a minute for you. Anyway, glad to see you on the show tonight. But if you all jumped on the bandwagon of R. Kelly and you got all his music banned, and if you jumped on the bandwagon when they was getting Bill Cosby, and you wanted them to take him down because you believed everything about that, and if you believe this situation about Sean Combs and his alleged co-conspirators and what you believe that they have done, then tell me white America, Republican America, why did you not believe at least 18 women who accused Donald Trump of varying inappropriate behaviors, including allegations of sexual harassment, sexual assault, all but 2 who came forward with their accusations before or during his first bid for the White House? Tell me, why does it seem that when the alleged person who committed the crime is a African American, a Hispanic, anybody other than a white male, you all are glad to jump on the bandwagon? Russell Simmons is another one, said Big Rob. Absolutely. I need to understand, white America, if you can be happy about R. Kelly getting his sentence, if you jumped on the Bill Cosby bandwagon, if you saying Sean Combs did it, and all of them very well may have, why is it that you all would not believe 18 different women who said that creepy Donald Trump took advantage, in some cases alleged to have sexual assaulted them, but you all won't believe that? You all wouldn't believe a man who, in his own words, said, I could go out in the middle of Times Square and kill somebody, and y'all still rock with me. You won't believe women that said he did that to them. But if they black or in a minority, you're jumping right on it. And I'm not standing here today saying that R. Kelly is innocent. I'm not saying Bill Cosby was innocent. I'm not saying that Russell Simmons, Sean Combs, I'm not saying any of them are innocent. I'm saying if I rock with you when you said they could be guilty, how in the Sam Blazing Hills is it you won't believe 18 white women that said a white man did it? See, I don't want to hear the women's movement, the Me Too movement. I want to hear all of that when it's dealing with a minority. I want you to have the same standard with everybody. I can support it. I think if there's a certain amount of evidence, hey, let it be what it is. But the thing that gets me is when it comes to Donald Trump, y'all still walking around talking about if an election was held today, we'd vote for him. But you want to shut down everything that all the historical things and otherwise that a black man may have accomplished. You want to ban that from the airwaves, ban that from social media, ban that from stores, but you don't feel the same way about an 18 allegations against a white man named Donald Trump. And when I say that, I want you to rock with me because that's all he is. He's just a white man named Donald Trump to me, who is accused of some violence, who in his own words led us to believe he believes. I can tell you firsthand, I have read probably 40 to 50% of all of the things dealing with allegations against Donald Trump in my time being on air because I want to make sure that I get it right. Donald Trump has lost cases in court, civil, but Donald Trump lost the case to, I think it was somebody named Eugene Carroll, whatever, somebody, and went into court when put on the stand and said, hey, the reason why you know I didn't do it, because she's unattractive. She's not my type. This man went in there and demeaned the woman in court and used that as the reason why you can believe that he would have never done it because she's ugly. And y'all supporting this character. Nikki Carter said people are gullible. They believe anything he says. And I just want you all to understand that sometimes, not all, that's the reason why in minority communities, even when there is somebody who is suspected of some criminal activity, sometimes people stand up for. That's the reason why people was happy when OJ got off for what he allegedly didn't do or alleged to have done in the murders of Ronald Goldman and his ex-wife? It wasn't because black people didn't believe OJ did it. We saw how that man spread his hand in front of the camera trying to put on them gloves. Many people were in support of him getting off because so often white people that commit crimes get over. We just was happy that one person that looks like us beat the system. We didn't even care. 99% of the people are not going to believe that on the same night that your ex-wife gets killed with her then alleged to be lover, that just so happens the bloody glove with their blood and yours winds up behind your house on the back of your gate under an air conditioner, that you just so happen to have cut your hands on that same night, that you jumped on a flight, flew to Chicago or wherever you went, had blood on the sink there. It's a lot of extraordinary circumstances. Nobody really thought OJ was innocent. We just wanted to hear it. We wanted to feel like somebody got paid back. What did he do? A few years later, he couldn't get out of his own dumb way, took a pistol to go retrieve some of his own items. And what did white America do? Y'all locked that man up for 9 years for going to get his own merchandise back. Retribution. I'm just saying. Nobody believed that OJ was innocent. We don't believe that Sean Combs is innocent. Because in minority America, in Black America, we use common sense. We don't operate totally on emotion. We use the common sense that tells us everybody ain't going to tell the same lie. Black America, generally, we tend to rationale things with a preponderance of evidence and information. White America, we don't know what the numerical count that it would take for you all to believe anything bad about Trump. You all sat and watched this fool tell America, we're going to the Capitol. And then y'all said, well, he didn't mean that in a negative manner. And I say all of these things because I want you all to become critical thinkers. I want you all to start to think, regardless of the community that we operate in. One, there should be common sense. Ladies, this is not to say anything that you do warrants anybody putting their hands on you or doing anything to you that you do not want to occur. But you do have a responsibility to act in accordance in a safe manner. As I said to somebody earlier, does it mean that if I got a cousin that lives in a bad neighborhood that's high crime, high drug, high robbery, if I go to see my cousin, it doesn't mean that I want to be robbed, killed, or assaulted? Nicky Carter said, then the car back to the White House, they said he believed he was out there. It doesn't mean I want to be assaulted. But you know what the person said to me that made sense? No, you didn't want to be assaulted. But if you knew your cousin lived on the bad side of town where crimes are high and you go there, you can't act surprised if you are victimized in that area because you had enough information before you went there to know it was at least possible. So ladies, when you're sitting around here and you're complaining that these entertainers are doing these vile things, the first question I want to ask you is, what did you think would occur when you jumped on a plane, jumped in a car, accepted a drink, allowed some entertainer to put pills in your mouth, any of these things that are alleged to be occurring, what did you think was going to happen? I have listened to and read counts where they said somebody put something in my drink. Ever since I was a little boy, I've heard stories of somebody putting Spanish fly or some kind of something in your drink. In 2020, back in 2000, you mean to tell me with all the information and access out there, if you got a web-based computer where you can go find out who is the entertainer that's hot, how much money he's worth, and you are comfortable enough to get on the plane, that same internet would have told you that it's folks out there who are robbing, stealing, raping, murdering, kidnapping, doing anything. So if you jumped on a plane, you at least, as my partner that I was talking to earlier said, you had reason to know that it could happen because they had no business jumping on a plane at 17 years old, flying out to see nobody in a whole nother state. You didn't deserve what alleged to have happened to you, but you had reason to believe that it might. Now, I'm not talking about these ladies who was on an airplane with Donald Trump and he broke them. They had a right to catch a flight and not be accosted by Donald Trump. The reason why I can say that is because he lost the civil suit to which he was ordered to pay. So he was found guilty in the civil suit of that allegation. So I can say they didn't deserve that. Bill Cosby did interviews talking about he used to drop stuff in folks' drinks. It doesn't surprise me that a woman says she went to Bill Cosby's house 2 o'clock in the morning. She said she wasn't feeling well. He gave her some pills, and next thing she woke up with her clothes disheveled. You went to Bill Cosby's house at 2 in the morning to take him some paperwork, and you told Bill Cosby, I don't feel that great. He said, let me give you some pills. You took the pills? Come on now. If you didn't feel that good, you shouldn't have went to Bill Cosby's house at 2 in the morning. I'm just saying. Sometimes we have to say to ourselves, if my actions put me in harm's way, and I know in advance it could be harm's way, I should not have the ability to fall back then and say, I'm a victim. It doesn't mean that you weren't a victim, but I believe the courts should say, the court of public opinion should say, if I know that I shouldn't be doing this, but I do it anyway, then if the consequences turned out to be what they could have been from the start, then I personally should not get restitution or what I perceive to be justice. Because but for your own actions, it would not have occurred. I am not talking about a woman who goes to the bar with her homegirls. They all sitting out there chilling because they just want to have a peaceful evening, listen to some music. They sitting at the bar. One goes to the bathroom. They all talking. Somebody slipped something into somebody's drink. I'm not talking about that. That's a criminal in the work, and she had a right to be at the club. She was not entertaining or putting herself out there in any manner. But I am talking about somebody who's walking around passing a $2 bill. You up going out there to dance with everybody. You got your cup sitting on the table. You got it out there in the open. You leaving yourself open to the potential that somebody could put something in your drink. You come back to the table, chug it down. Next thing you know, you stumbling. You wake up somewhere you shouldn't have been with something that occurred. You knew in this day and age that there are so many allegations that this thing happens. Why would you take that chance? If you got to get out there on the dance floor, then that's a drink you lost. You're supposed to not drink out that cup no more. Look at people. I'm going to say this, then I'm going to get on up off the air because I'm running out of time. I want y'all to understand that there have been at least in 2023, Sean Combs, Jamie Foxx, Axl Rose, Russell Brand, Steven Tyler, Bill Cosby, Jonah Hill, Danny Masterson, Conor McGregor, and Cuba Gooding Jr. This year alone, there have been claims that these individuals at some point in the past have done something that was unwanted. Are they all true? I don't know. But I invite you all to pay attention and reserve judgment until you see facts that come out, or as we do in the minority community, until a preponderance of information and or evidence gives you cause or pause to believe that it's possible. Everybody that says they're a victim isn't a victim, but every person who says they're innocent is not innocent. And I'm out.
It's about that time, baby, baby. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
It's on.